Hi, so it's been a hot minute since I filmed the video. I've been meaning to film another one since all the way back last April, but I lost interest. I got lazy, I don't know. But today I decided I wanted to start a new thing this year and actually film videos, but also I wanted to do a what I watched each month. I've seen a couple other people do it, and I thought it'd be fun to do because I do watch a lot of stuff. Maybe not as much as some other people, I don't know, but I'm gonna be including TV shows and movies. So the first thing I did this year was finally finish The West Wing. Now, I actually started The West Wing back in November of 2021. I know, that's a long time ago. But I started it, watched a few episodes, and I don't know if I got bored or what happened. I don't think I was bored, but I don't know. I didn't continue. And then I picked back up on it in the summer of 2022, and I got through to like season 3. And then finally at the end of last year, I was like, okay, I need to buckle down and finish this show because I'm worried it's gonna get taken off of HBO Max since everything is getting taken off HBO Max. So I buckled down and I finished The West Wing, and I gotta admit, it was kind of rough. I liked the show a lot, but after Aaron Sorkin left, it was kind of boring, whatever. But then finally, at the end of the show, we finally got to the Josh and Donna of it all, which I was waiting for, and I was not disappointed. It was amazing. And then the next thing I watched, which is technically still ongoing, is Abbott Elementary. I've just been watching the new episodes as they are released. After I finished The West Wing, I started Midnight Mass, which is my third Mike Flanagan TV show or miniseries. At first I wasn't sure about it, but quickly it got my attention and I was bawling my eyes out by the end of the show, as I've done with his other two miniseries before that, of Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor, which I watched in October of last year, which I immediately loved. Haunting of Hill House immediately became one of my favorite things I've ever watched, and Bly Manor was amazing. Midnight Mass was also amazing, and I need to get onto his other stuff because he clearly is an amazing creator. After I finished Midnight Mass, I started Search Party, which I watched pretty quickly. Actually, I watched a season a day, which is kind of crazy because it's 10 episodes. And the show started great, and it got really weird after the first season. And if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. I only went into it knowing the basic premise of the first season, because obviously I wanted to avoid spoilers because it was like a weird mystery show. And it is such a weird show that I really don't know how to feel about. I've seen people say that it's like one of their favorite things they've ever seen, and I'm like, okay, I think it just wasn't my thing completely. Like by the last like 2 seasons, it got so insanely ridiculous that I don't know if it was for me. But I like Aaliyah Shawkat. After I finished Search Party, I decided to do a rewatch of Ant Farm. My first time watching it since I was young. I hadn't seen any of the episodes in years. And it's not the best show in the world, I gotta be honest with you. It was a struggle to get through. The next show that I watched was a rewatch, and it was the Scream TV series. I watched the Scream TV series for the first time in 2021, so it's been a minute. So I thought that I should rewatch it because it's been a while. The new Scream movie's coming out. They're not related, obviously, but I was like, I'm in a Scream mood, and I just did a marathon of the movies, so I was like, let me do the show. It's pretty short. I forgot how bad that last season was. I went into it thinking, oh, I don't think it was that bad, was it? No, it was. It was horrible. Other than Keke Palmer, that last season is god awful. But on a more positive note, the first 2 seasons of the Scream TV series are pretty good in my opinion. Some people might not think that, but I have a good time with them, and I really wish that we could have got a season 3 that was connected to the previous 2 seasons. Right after the Scream TV series, I decided to take a stab at That 90s Show, and you know what? It's not that bad. I think it was a fine show. It started off a little cringy, like the teen actors were a little cringy, but I think it got better as it went on. And today, right now as of filming this, the show has been renewed for a season 2 with 16 whole episodes. When was the last time Netflix gave a show 16 episodes in a season? What? I'm excited. I gotta be honest with you. I like the characters. I'm excited to see where they go. They're kind of cute. And the nostalgia got me a little bit. Like, I love that 70s show. And being back in the set, having Kitty and Red back as main characters, fantastic choice, by the way, because the show would not have been as good without Kitty and Red, because those are my grandparents at heart. Deborah Jo Rupp is one of the funniest people I've ever had the grace of watching on a television. So I'm excited to see more Kitty in season 2. And then the next thing that I watched, which was my most anticipated TV show up until now because it's released, well, part of it's released, is Poker Face, which is on Peacock, by the way. Natasha Lyonne, love her to death. She is my favorite person in the whole world. And I was so excited for this show because Rian Johnson is behind it. It has an amazing lineup of cameos and guest stars. And I was just like, yeah, I'm excited. And I watched the first 4 episodes the day they released, obviously, because why wouldn't I? And God, it was amazing. It was amazing. I did not expect the episodes to be so long, actually. The first episode was over an hour, and then they're long episodes. I'm excited to get later in the series because Stephanie Hsu is going to be in it, and I'm really excited for that because she is having a fantastic past couple of years. So I'm excited to see that. And of course, Natasha. I mean, she can do no wrong in my eyes. I will watch anything she's in. If you're a fan of Slums of Beverly Hills, it's on HBO Max right now, at least in the US. So get on that if you haven't seen it. It's a great movie. After Poker Face, I watched The Bear. Good God, it was amazing. I watched it all in one day. By the way, most of these shows that have short seasons, I watched in a day because why not? And The Bear was amazing. I mean, wow, just amazing television. I haven't seen Shameless, so I don't know much about Jeremy Allen White, but I'm rooting for him at the Emmys. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Ayo Edebiri? Sydney, love her. The only other thing I knew her from is Big Mouth, but only for like the last few seasons of Big Mouth, but I've only seen the one season that she voiced, I think. I don't know. But she is amazing. The next thing that I watched, and this one makes me sad, is Reboot. I watched that one in one day also. Fantastic show. Everybody was talking about it when it was first airing episodes on Hulu, and like 2 days after I watched it, it got canceled. I am heartbroken, shattered. I don't know how to go on. I'm hoping that it gets picked up somewhere else because I heard they might be shopping it around to other networks. I hope that happens because the cast, oh my God, Judy Greer, number 1, queen. Judy Greer is one of my favorite people because she is so funny in an underrated way. I feel like I never hear anybody talking about Judy Greer, but she's hilarious. I love her deeply because she was in 13 Going on 30, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. But seeing her in this, wow, she was hilarious. And then you got Keegan-Michael Key, who obviously is going to be hilarious. And then you have Johnny Knoxville, which I'm actually not that familiar with him, but he was great in this show. He had some really unexpected dramatic moments that like pulled at your heartstrings. And then we have Callum Worthy, who is Dez in Austin and Ally, and you know, he is the best part of Austin and Ally, you know. He's Dez. Dez is hilarious, and he is so funny in Reboot. I love to see him in this show. Like, it's so weird to see him in anything because I don't think I've seen him in anything other than Austin and Ally, but he was really funny in Reboot. And I'm sad that the show got canceled, but hopefully it can get picked up somewhere else. I hope. I don't know. Oh, and Aaliyah. I don't remember her last name. Aaliyah Chanel Scott, is that her name? From Sex Life of College Girls. She's in it for a little bit. Love her. She's hilarious. And the last thing that I watched in January, started in January, was Party Down, the original run of the series. The new season hasn't come out yet. I started it. I finished it technically in February, but I started it in January, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I gotta be honest with you, I don't feel like I fully paid attention to the episodes, even though I was like trying to. I don't know. It's like they just went by. I'll need to rewatch it. But there's a new season coming out, which is exciting, because it was one of those shows I saw on like a Watch Mojo, like top 10 underrated sitcoms or something, and it was pretty funny. And a special shout out to Saturday Night Live. I watched some random episodes of the show this month, which I've been doing since 2021 when I found out that Peacock had all the episodes. I try to watch some every once in a while. I say every once in a while, but lately it's been like every day, a good chunk of episodes every day. I'm trying to watch all the episodes eventually, you know, but that's kind of hard because there's like 900 something episodes. But I have watched like 300 and something of them, so I'm getting there, you know? I started off 2023 so strong with Parasite. So last year I started off the year with a movie that I did not like, and I gave it a half star on Letterboxd. And I ended the year with a movie that I gave, I think, a 1.5. So I was like, you know what? I need to start off the year with something I know I'm gonna like, or at least I think I'm gonna like because of hype around it. I've been putting off Parasite for a really long time because it's a movie that everyone thinks is a masterpiece, and it's in another language, which means I have to focus. I have to pay attention to the captions to know what's going on. And you know what? It was one of the easiest things I've ever watched in a language I don't speak. My attention was wrapped for the entire length of the movie. Oh my God. I'm mad at myself for putting it off now, but I'm also glad I started off the year on something so strong. Parasite lived up to every hype I've ever heard about it. It deserved Best Picture in my book. I didn't know anything about this movie going in. The only thing I knew was class issues being raised. That's about all I knew about it. And like, I saw a picture of the house, you know, and I was like, okay, good. I successfully avoided spoilers for Parasite, and you don't understand how hard that is sometimes. We moved on to Say Anything. Not as strong of a movie. It's very iconic. A lot of people like Say Anything. I didn't. What can I say? At first I was like, it's fine, but like, I was just bored the whole time. And the boombox scene kind of led to nothing. So I was like, okay. I did my first rewatch of the year, which was Twister, which is one of my favorite movies ever. It's a movie that I will rewatch at least 3 times a year. Pretty much any time that it's still daylight and it gets like stormy outside, I'll watch Twister. And then I watched The Menu. Oh my God. I watched it the day it dropped on HBO Max, of course. The Menu was great. I've seen a lot of naysayers out there about it for some reason. I don't know. I loved it. Made me want a cheeseburger. Anya Taylor-Joy was amazing. Loved her with red hair, by the way. I watched a rewatch of An American Girl, Carissa Stands Strong. Yeah. Then I did a double feature of Creep and Creep 2. I'd had it on my monthly watch list for a long time, and I was like, you know what? Let me give it a chance. It's under 90 minutes. And as soon as I finished the first one, I watched the second one because they were both on Netflix, and I really liked them both. I liked the second one a little bit better, and I just thought they were fun. Usually found footage movies aren't exactly my thing, but those, I liked them. Then I watched The Lobster. I wish I liked The Lobster, but I was pretty bored. Rachel Weisz is in it, and I love her. She's in The Mummy. That's my girl. We're name twins, obviously, but I'm sorry, I didn't have a good time. Then I watched Reefer Madness, the movie musical, which has Kristen Bell, Neve Campbell, Christian Campbell, Neve Campbell's brother, and others. It was a very weird and funny movie, and the music was very good. It is a parody of the 1930s propaganda movie Reefer Madness, which I watched afterwards, which was awful and I barely paid attention to. Then I watched Zoolander, which was fine. I gotta be honest, I didn't fully pay attention to it, but it had some funny moments. I rewatched Shrek 2 because I was having a bad day. I was really sad, and I was like, I don't want to watch something new. I want to watch something I'm familiar with. And you know what? Shrek 2 was the cure to my sadness. Shrek 2, better than Shrek 1, I gotta be honest with you. I mean, I don't think that's a controversial take, but Shrek 2 is better. It just has funnier moments to me. It's more action-packed. It has an amazing soundtrack, and plus, it has a fairy godmother. Best part of the whole franchise to me. I watched Ginger Snaps Back, The Beginning, which is the third and final movie in the Ginger Snaps trilogy. I gotta be honest, I barely paid attention, but it was kind of the same story as the first, but told in like the 17 or 1800s. It was really weird. I don't know. Just watch the first two. The first two were great. I watched Four Weddings and a Funeral, which is such a conflicting movie. I had moments that I really liked, but then I was just like, I don't know, like it's just a kind of movie, you know? I didn't notice it until I was reading Letterboxd reviews, but people were saying that Andie MacDowell's acting was not very good, and then I was like, you know what? I honestly didn't really care about the romance with Hugh Grant in that movie, so maybe they're right. I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, another movie I'd been putting off for a really long time, but then I finally decided to do it, and you know what? I loved it. I thought it was great. Then I did a fun little rewatch of Another Cinderella Story. I think that day I had heard New Classic on my Spotify shuffle. I was like, you know what? I think it's time for a rewatch. I watched A League of Their Own. So I watched the series last year and I really loved the series. So I watched the movie and I was like, okay, yeah, this is a great movie. It was fun. I really liked it. I watched Cruising with Al Pacino, which was fine. Not much else to say. Then I rewatched The Faculty, which is one I've been meaning to rewatch for a while because I first watched it last January and it was an immediate 5 stars. I was like, yes, I love this. And no surprise, it was written by Kevin Williamson, post Scream. I loved it. It has Clea Duvall, who I love so much. And the movie is just outstanding in my eyes. And the soundtrack for the movie, oh my God. They have somebody, I don't know who it is, covering Another Brick in the Wall, I think parts 1 and 2 by Pink Floyd. Oh my God. Oh my God. The movie starts off with The Kids Aren't Alright by The Offspring. Like, one of my favorite songs starts off the movie. When I first watched it last year, I was like, yep, this is gonna be 5 stars immediately. And then it was. And I watched Prisoners, which was a sad-ish movie. It was a really good movie. I really liked it. Then I watched The Purge Anarchy, the second Purge movie. It has Zach Gilford. I've been having a Zach Gilford time because I watched Friday Night Lights last year, which was the first thing I saw Zach Gilford in. And then I watched Midnight Mass, which has him. And then he was in The Purge Anarchy. So it's been a little bit of a Zach Gilford time for me. So I did Sausage Party because I hadn't seen it in a really long time. And I know some people probably think it's like stupid, like gross out sexual humor. It is. But I do find it funny, and also the voice cast of the movie are a bunch of people from SNL that I really love, like Bill Hader and like Kristen Wiig. I think she's in it, yeah, and a bunch of other people, but I do find it funny, I'm sorry. And also there's something oddly comforting about it. I don't know if it's like the enclosed food aisles at night. I like it. Sue me. Then I did a rewatch of Let It Shine. I actually rewatched Let It Shine right before an episode of Abbott of Elementary was airing, which was fun, so I got a little Tyler James Williams double feature that day. But you know, Let It Shine. It's a Disney classic. Then I watched Zombieland and Zombieland Double Tap. I love them. They don't have the best ratings on Letterboxd. Of course they don't. They're horror movies and they're zombie movies, but I think they're hilarious. I mean, for me, when I first watched both of them, they were immediate 5 stars, and I still believe that. I think they're hilarious and also very comforting. I finally did a rewatch of Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I hadn't seen since I first watched it in theaters last April. Of course, rewatching it just confirmed my beliefs that it is just an amazing movie. I think the 3 lead actors deserve to win the Oscars, and by 3 lead actors, I obviously mean Michelle Yeoh, Ke Huy Quan, and Stephanie Hsu, not Jamie Lee Curtis. No offense to Jamie Lee Curtis, but if she wins over Stephanie, I am gonna start a riot or something, because Stephanie is literally the heart of the movie. And also, there's been a lot of naysayers on Twitter. Once again, the naysayers are out saying all different types of bad things about the movie, and I'm just like, okay, can you just like not for one movie, just for one movie, not do that, not turn on everything. I saw people turn it on the menu on Twitter, and I was like, okay, you're not different, you're not special, you don't get a cookie for this, just let people enjoy things. Then I watched Sorority Row, the 2009 remake of The House on Sorority Row. The original was fine. I liked the remake more. I thought it was fun. It was a good time. Then I watched Green Room, which has Aaliyah Shawkat. Love her. I don't have much to say about it. It was a pretty cool movie. R.I.P. Anton Yelchin, or Yelchin. I don't know how to say his last name, but rest in peace, dude. I watched Top Gun. I watched Top Gun the day before the nominations were announced, and then I watched Maverick the day they were announced, because I knew it was going to get nominated, so it's like, I might as well do it. The original Top Gun was fine. The Top Gun Maverick, they got me. The military propaganda got me. I'm sorry. Like, it was like weird. Like, I had nostalgia even though I'd just seen the first movie the day before. I was crying about their references to the first movie. And also both movies started out with Danger Zone. Like, come on, that's a great song. I'm sorry. I think the movie was great. I watched Bloody Birthday, which is a weird little 80s slasher. You know, there's a million of them. In the efforts to watch more Oscar-nominated stuff, I watched The Martha Mitchell Effect, which was a short documentary nominated for the short documentaries. It was fine, you know, it was whatever. It was pretty surface level. It was about Martha Mitchell was like, I think she was the whistleblower with Watergate. I don't know, something with Watergate and Richard Nixon. Now here's a controversial one. I watched Tar. I thought it was fine. Sorry, I don't think it was for me. It was fine. Like, I don't know. Like, I was bored, but I wasn't. Like, I wasn't bored. Like, I was kind of interested, but it just kind of gave me nothing. Like, I don't know. It wasn't one of those movies where I was just like, wow, this is amazing. I think Cate Blanchett's performance is great. I'm still rooting for Michelle Yeoh. Sorry to all the Tar fans out there, but it wasn't for me. And then I watched Children of the Corn, the original, because there's like a million of them, because I hadn't seen it before and it was very boring and stupid. That's all I can say. I did a rewatch of 10 Things I Hate About You, which is one of my favorite movies, once again, and it just hit so much harder this time. I had been thinking about it a lot because I saw a TikTok about it, and so I rewatched it and I did a really long review of it on Letterboxd. If you want to follow me on Letterboxd and see it, it's very long and very detailed. Of me just pointing out everything I love about the movie. I bumped up my rating of the movie from a 4.5 to a 5 because I used to actually hate the poem scene at the end, but this time I actually got emotional watching it, so I bumped it up. And then the last movie I watched of the month was In the Tall Grass, which I got from shuffling my watch list, which has like 6,000 movies on Letterboxd. I shuffled my watch list and that's what I got. It was a weird movie. It was strange. It was all right. It was very like similar in my brain to Children of the Corn, like not really, but like they were in like a field, which is like Children of the Corn, and I watched them pretty close together, and those are both like, Children of the Corn is based off a Stephen King story, and In the Tall Grass is based off a story written by, I think, Stephen King and his son, I believe. So it was getting a lot of the same vibes, and it was fine. It was weird. It's a Netflix movie. Watch it if you want to, you know? But that is all I watched this past month of January. I watch a lot of stuff. It's the thing I really like to do, is watch a lot, and hopefully I'll do this every month. I think that's all from me. I will see you next time. Bye.